Hi, welcome to this self-Reiki treatment session. Today we're going to focus on the head, neck, and shoulders. There is no shortage of ways that we can treat our body, but because so many of us experience headaches, whether it's migraines or tension related, or sometimes our minds are just overthinking and we don't realize that we need to do kind of the basics of self-care in this whole electromagnetic field that we're shooting off thoughts and feelings and all kinds of things. So we're going to go ahead and begin doing a self-treatment. And if you're a total beginner with Reiki, don't forget that I have a Reiki attunement video where it's about a 30-minute guided, it's called an attunement or an empowerment in Reiki, where it kind of turns on all of your circuits. And it's a great way to just do the initial connection, and then we can all kind of begin our practice together. So just remember that's always available for you. You can listen to that and watch that as many times as you like, the Reiki attunement. But if you are already ready for your Reiki, let's begin. So we're just going to begin palms facing the top of the head. I often like to interlace the fingers. And how I like to activate my Reiki is go Reiki go. Some of my students like to say flow Reiki flow. And this should be comfortable for you. This should be totally comfortable, meaning you can relax your shoulders. Maybe you're laying down, maybe you're sitting up. And I'm always going to remind you to be comfortable. Maybe 10% more comfortable. The reason that we do this is because if we are struggling or fighting with our bodies to be in a certain position, to be holding a certain way, the Reiki is going to flow there first. And it's going to help alleviate any stress or tension that's building up in the place that you can easily just release. So if you know that you have a shoulder injury or that your arms are just getting tired here, maybe this isn't the position that you start in. Or maybe you begin laying down with this, where it's a little less strain or a little less work. I can kind of feel that I'm holding a little bit of tension here at the back of my neck, back of my shoulders. And so taking my own advice, I'm going to say, let's continue on. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands to the heart center. So you can do one hand on top of the other. You can do one hand over. So it could be like this, or this, or this. It's your body and it's your choice in how you want to, or what kind of feels right. Don't overthink it. The place that you go first is usually spot on. And you don't have to keep saying go Reiki go every time that you move your hands. You can if you like, but we set the initial intention to turn on the circuit, to turn on the Reiki, to invite the flow. And here you're just going to take a nice big belly breath in, breathing from the abdomen. And maybe you let your eyes close. And here what I'm feeling is a quiet warmth moving inside my chest. I can almost feel it moving down towards my solar plexus, but it's really, and even up towards my throat. And I call it a quiet warmth because that's what it is. It doesn't feel like hot, hot heat. I'm actually feeling both of my palms get a little sweaty. Here in Massachusetts, we're in late spring, but it's one of those 80-degree days already, and it's warm, but my palms weren't sweaty before I started the Reiki. I'm just sharing what I'm feeling. Tingling is also normal. Shedding a tear or almost feeling like you want to take a nap is perfectly normal. Take a big breath in. And here my hands almost feel magnetized. Like I don't want to move anywhere. Like they found a spot and it feels nourishing. My body feels at ease. My shoulders feel at ease in this resting space. And I'm actually really feeling this. I'm noticing that the Reiki flow is not only at my heart center, but I'm also feeling it sort of at the back of my neck, the back of my shoulders as well. So just know that sometimes when you place your hands in one place, Reiki is always going to find those areas that are needing a little extra TLC. And I know when it's time to move because what I see is an image of where I go next. So that's how my relationship with my guides works. They show me an image of where to move to next. So even though the intention that Caroline of the head was like, oh, we're doing head, neck, and shoulders today, they're telling me to go to my waist. So I'm just going to move down the camera so you can kind of see where I am. And so this is also a resting position. So initially you could almost see my shoulders drop. I'm just always trying to be comfortable. And I'm just gonna relax a little bit into my own chair here. Don't feel like, when we're in meditation, we often want to have a nice, kind of upward spine, or when we're in certain yoga positions. But sometimes the physical relaxation of sitting back into the chair can also put the mind at ease. Right? We know that sometimes when furniture designers make really deep seats, it encourages people to relax and to settle in. So our physical posture can be very supportive of how we want our mental space to feel. There we go. Take a big breath in. And, as I'm sitting here with my hands at my waist, I'm feeling the Reiki kind of flow in this region, but I'm actually feeling it flow up the spine. So where is it flowing for you? And there is no pressure. I did daily self-practice for 2 years before I actually felt any of these sensations. I've had a Reiki practice for 13 years now. I've been teaching for about 10. At the time of this video. But I was practicing Reiki for quite a long time before I started feeling any of these physical sensations. I kept doing it because I used to have really, really bad anxiety. And I would feel better afterwards. I would feel more relaxed, more myself, more in my own container after. But during the Reiki session, nothing. So please don't give up hope if you're like, I don't feel anything, Caroline. Just give it a try. Sometimes when we're returning to Reiki after a long time, if there's been an absence, or even when we're beginning, right, there's a reconnection. And don't forget that some of us have not been feeling safe in our bodies for a long time. And to settle into different types of sensations is not an easy thing, right? Positive or negative, right? Our perception of what we like and what we don't like. So you can even see my shoulders softening there a little bit. I didn't even realize that I was holding up. Right, my body will start to soften. And we're going to kind of come back to the abdomen and to the heart center. So we're not talking about the organ of the heart. We're talking about the heart center, which is part of the energetic. I'm just going to bring the screen up a little bit. There we go. So one hand for me is kind of just above the belly button, the solar plexus. And exhale. The time that we're spending here as we do our Reiki self-treatment, our self-Reiki practice, is time well spent. Meaning that when we're able to come back to center, we can think more clearly. We can get out of our head a little bit. We can be more present for what we're authentically feeling, rather than what we're cycling through. Take a big breath in. And when you're feeling ready, you can always continue. If you don't want to stop after this, sometimes this is the practice that I just fall asleep with. But you can come to Gasho prayer position, which is how we connect all of our energetic circuits, right? It's just the Gasho prayer position. Thumbs to the heart center, and we just thank ourselves thank this beautiful land that we live on, this beautiful earth, this terrain. Go Reiki, go.